By 1997, though, the Britpop party was still in session, but to be fair, being so upbeat all the time can be exhausting. Tell me about it. If rock was going to emerge vital and strong into the millennium, it was going to have to sober up a bit, and sober it got. Aided and abetted, as Phil Daniels had so ironically, as it turned out, bellowed in Parklife, aided a bit by the old Versprung durch technique, advancement through technology. When the fizz of Britpop faded in 1997, a less joyous mood seemed to take hold.
Like a cat in a bag, waiting to drown.
Ironically, many of these more sober-sounding bands who had watched Britpop from the sidelines would go on to be more successful than most of their red, white and blue bedecked cohorts.
No, I'll see your face again.
After a dry afternoon at Glastonbury in 1999, Travis caused an almighty downpour.
Why does it always rain on me?
They embraced the moment, though, and each raindrop signalled a sail.
The clocks go back, railway
The MO of such bands was businesslike and unflashy. The north-south divide was over. These bands came from Glasgow, Wigan, Birmingham, Liverpool. 45% of them were outright Welsh. Perhaps the most well-known of the cool Cymru exponents were the Manic Street Preachers. After the strange disappearance of their guitarist Richie Edwards, they regrouped to find even greater success, playing to 80,000 fans on New Year's Eve in 1999. As pre-millennial tension manifested itself, the music industry was grappling with a new digital future. For many, Radiohead's OK Computer was one of the greatest achievements of the decade. Appropriately, singer Tom York said the album had been inspired by the speed of the 90s. And few would have predicted that Coldplay, a band who sold just 50 copies of their debut EP, would soon become one of the biggest bands in the world. This was the dawning of yet another new age for British rock.
I swam across, I jumped across for you.
For some, it represented phenomenal growth and opportunity. For others, it was the end of an era.
'Cause you were all yellow.
And I don't know about you, Jose, it may have been the last kind of twitching of the corpse where perhaps a youth was in charge of its culture. After that, it dissipated somewhat, no?
Oh, you see, I'm such an optimist, but I think about things like grime music now, and I think about how many young people are making their own music electronically, and just how I feel like it's always there. It just.
But where's the
manifests in
tension
different
not
ways.
to? That's the thing. That up until perhaps that period, there was a resistance by the culture. So really pop music, but now it's, yeah, sure, here's your grant.
Wow, no, no, nowadays I think there's the big, really, where all the money goes to the massive acts, and then there's just everything else for you to find, and there's loads of people out there doing things where they know they can't make a living from it, but they love it and they're desperate to do